Saying this is a video for Gabby, and we had talked about like strategies of the the block starts, and like this video is going to be some tips and tricks of how to effectively set up your block starts. So, like we've done before, or like we did with the 3 point starts today, you're going to start with your facing away from the start line with your heels on the front edge of the white line, and then you're going to uh, let me see. Keep your right foot still. Move your left foot heel to toe in front, directly in front of your right foot toes, and then leave that there. And then that's the minimum for you because you have long femurs. So you might have like an inch to 3 inches of wiggle room there. So like from that point, 2 feet away from the line, or maybe 2 feet plus 2 or 3 inches, depending on how you're feeling. Um, But, get your front foot set like we talked about. So left foot set first because that's your lead leg. And then whatever measurement that you did with your on for your left foot, you're going to do that plus one, I can't do this really, but 1 foot length more for your right foot. So instead of having that back leg, uh, 30 inches behind your front leg, you're going to have it maybe 10 inches. So like heel, left foot heel is here, or left foot is here, right foot is like literally heel toe. Uh, but of course, across the block. Like we mentioned before, you want those blocks to be at a low angle just because of where your lower body power is at now as a freshman. Completely fine. Just optimize for what we can do physically right now. And then um, what I'd like to do also after I get my, the blocks set in terms of forward and back and the angle set, I like to stomp on the front and back ends of the blocks to make sure that the little spikes in the blocks are down. So as you're pushing off, if you get a really, really good push, the blocks will not slide on you or anything like that. As you get more and more powerful, that becomes more of a possibility. But for now, um, stomping into the blocks, and then again, as you get more and more powerful, it may be beneficial to have someone or a teammate or somebody standing on the back of your blocks too. Um, but from there, you're gonna have uh, you're gonna be facing forward towards the finish line. When it's time to get into your blocks, you're going to start with, say, uh, a a few of the spikes, like it's hard because I'm holding the phone, but like the tip of your toes basically on the actual track, and then the rest of your foot from the end of the tip of the toe towards your heel on the actual block. So 90% of your foot's going to be elevated, about 10% of your foot's going to be on the actual track itself. And do that for both feet. And then from there, you're going to start with your right knee down, so that way you can set your shins angled forward. So that way, when it's time to push, you're going to be launching forward towards the finish line. But start with your right knee down after you get both feet set onto your blocks. Get your hands in position, and then so that's on your mark. Get set. Then make sure your weight is shifted forward, or excuse me, on your marks. Get your feet in position, right knee is down, and make sure your weight is already shifted forward. And then when you hear get set, then all you have to do is lift your hips straight up. Your hips should already be, or excuse me, your weight should already be forward. Your shoulders should be directly above your hand, like we talked about. And then get set. You're raising your hips straight up vertically into the air. Hips should be above your shoulders. Look like you had a good concept of that throughout the reps today, so don't have to worry about that too much. And then from there, you want as you come into the set position where your hips are up, you want both heels to be pushing backwards into the block. So left foot and right foot should be pushing, your heels should be pushing back into that, into the tops of the blocks themselves. And then After you get that tension into your legs, stay relaxed with your mind, so that way when you hear the gunshot, you can take off. You're going to apply force with both feet, finish the push with your left, throw that left hand up. Remember, left hand up, just like we practiced today. Left hand up, and then continue with your sprint. And that's the block starts. So again, walking through it from the top, getting your blocks set up. You're going to go move the blocks further back than you think necessary. Start with, make sure the blocks are horizontally aligned. Start with your heels on the edge of the white line, facing away from the start line. Put your left foot in front of your right foot, and then like heel toe in front of your right foot. Adjust the block on that side to move forward to, move forward so that way the bottom edge of that block is just under that 10th of your foot, 10th of your left foot at the time. And then you're going to, shift that into place, make sure that the angle is low. And then you're going to reset back to the white line, facing again away from the start line. Keeping your left foot where it is. You're going to step heel toe with the right foot, and then step heel toe with the left foot. And then again, you're going to shift that block from wherever it is to just under that 10th of your foot, just under your big toe, so to speak. Lock it into place, make sure the angle's down low. You're going to turn around, facing forward. You're going to walk backwards, get your big toe or that 10th of your foot on the track. The rest of your foot's going to be on the left block. Do the same thing for your right block as well. After that, and then once you get your right foot set, because that's your second foot that you're setting, drop your right knee to the ground, and then get your hands in position however wide as you want, but definitely forward all the way as close to the start line as possible. And then stay nice and relaxed. Focus on your race. Focus on your mechanics and your good race. And then shift your weight forwards. That way your shoulders are vertically, directly above your hands, and also pretty much directly above the white line, the start line. And then get set. You're going to raise your hips straight up, pushing back into both the left and the right blocks, pushing your heel back into both of those blocks. And then keep your mind clear. And then when you hear that gun go off, you push off of both feet, throw your left arm high and forward, and then continue with the sprint. So, long video. Just wanted to walk through it all twice, give you all the cues that I can think of in terms of like the specifics. And yeah, so that should be the starts. In terms of the finish, like we talked about while you were on the treadmill today, make sure that you are basically keeping your eyes forward, and then swing your arms faster. That's the biggest thing. Faster arm swing, faster stride frequency. Your feet are going to be landing closer to underneath your hips, which means you're being more efficient. You're saving energy, so that way you have more energy towards the finish of the race. So, yeah, hope that helps, and have a great night. See you tomorrow.